Chosen one, take a sacred pause, not just to listen, but to remember. Because what you're about to hear isn't entertainment, it's activation. You didn't land on this message by accident. The truth is, you were summoned. Summoned because you carry what few can comprehend. A sacred imprint embedded in your hands, your soul, and your frequency. That mysterious M traced along your palm and the hidden crescent moon nestled in the curve of your hand, it's not just a sign. It's a signal broadcasting to realms far beyond this one. A signal that only the awakened, the ancient, and yes, even the animal kingdom can recognize. This channel isn't just a place to explore ideas. It's a spiritual compass calibrated for the encoded. And if you've ever wondered why birds turn their heads when you pass, why a wild creature locks eyes with you and lingers, or why you often feel watched in nature, it's because the veil has thinned around you, and the divine has sent watchers, not people, not prophets, but creatures. Creatures who were never taught to recognize power, yet bow to it anyway. That's not chance. That's the code. There's something deeply ancient stirring in this moment. Something that echoes through pyramids, through scrolls, through the unspoken archives of the earth. From the beginning of time, certain animals have been assigned, yes, assigned to detect spiritual frequencies that transcend speech and behavior. They move toward those carrying the divine code, not with curiosity, but with reverence. And now, it's time you discover the others. You see, the animals in the previous message were only the beginning. A veil lifted, but not fully. What if I told you that 7 more divine messengers walk this earth, not as coincidences in your life, but as confirmations? Confirmations that you are not only seen, but accompanied. This second list is for those who have seen the signs, but needed deeper clarity. It's for the ones who sense something sacred following them, but have never found the words. Today, you'll receive the names, but before we reveal these next divine watchers, I need you to understand this. The universe always leaves traces, and if you've been marked visibly or invisibly, you are a part of a frequency that animals don't just recognize, they respect. If something in your spirit is vibrating right now, if you feel a tingling across your arms, a rush through your chest, don't ignore it. It means you've been waiting to hear this. So type 222 in the comments. That's the number of alignment, confirmation, and soul partnerships. Say it aloud if you must. I am recognized by nature. I am in divine alignment. Let that echo. Not for clicks, but for your own remembrance. Of all the animals, none is more graceful in presence than the deer. You've seen it standing still in the woods, frozen in time. But did you know that when a deer stares at you, especially in silence, it's not fear, it's acknowledgement? The deer appears in the lives of the chosen as reminder of sacred attentiveness. Its presence means you are being watched, not in judgment, but in protection. Ancient texts describe deer as carriers of messages from angelic realms. They are drawn to the ones whose energy does not scream, but vibrates gently through the air. If a deer has paused near you, especially in an unexpected place, understand this: your spirit is soft enough to carry divine instruction. The deer doesn't run from you because it already knows you're not a threat, you're a messenger. The falcon, the divine observer. Unlike the dove, the falcon is precise, swift, and sharp. And yet it shows up not as a hunter of prey, but a hunter of truth. When the falcon circles above you or lands nearby, it's a signal that you've entered a season of spiritual clarity. The chosen ones are not always soft. Some carry the sword of discernment, and the falcon recognizes that sword. Its vision, capable of seeing miles ahead, mirrors your soul's ability to perceive beyond illusion. If you've seen a falcon hovering or flying in loops during a major decision, it wasn't watching prey. It was mirroring your own awakening sight. The elephant, the soul memory keeper. Majestic, ancient, intentional. The elephant is more than an animal. It is a walking archive of divine memory. In many spiritual traditions, elephants are believed to remember not just events, but soul contracts. They show up in the dreams or lives of the chosen when old karmic patterns are being broken or ancient promises remembered. If you have felt a strange connection to elephants, whether through dreams, symbols, or real-life encounters, it's because your soul is remembering something from long before this lifetime. Elephants represent the awakening of spiritual inheritance, and when they appear, they are announcing you are stepping into who you were always meant to be. Chosen one, these first three divine has been following you all along, but we're only beginning. In the next segment, you'll meet 4 more sacred creatures who don't just walk beside you, they echo your spirit's purpose. But before we go there, I want to know something real from your heart. Have you ever encountered the deer, the falcon, the elephant? If yes, write the comments the one that came to you, even one word, even one dream. Let your experience be the key to someone else's recognition. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, not out of obligation, but because you're no longer wandering. This is your spiritual home. Before we reveal the next divine animals, I want to ask you something, not as a content creator, but as someone walking beside you in this awakening. If this message has resonated even a little, if something within you whispered, "This is for me," then pause for a moment and subscribe to this channel. Not for trends, not for numbers, but because this space is one of the few where don't have to explain your gifts. Here, you are not too sensitive, too spiritual, or too different. Here, you are understood. Also, tell me in the comments what content would help you in your journey. Would you like more revelations about symbols, hands, dreams, or energy reading? I read them, and I don't just want interaction. I want connection. Let's build this community of marked souls together. The Raven, the gatekeeper of transformation. Dark, mysterious, misunderstood. The Raven has long been seen as an omen in myths, but the truth is more complex. The Raven doesn't symbolize death. It symbolizes initiation. For chosen ones who are about to undergo deep transformation, the Raven often appears as a harbinger of change. Its presence means one chapter is closing and another is beginning. Not all chosen ones have soft awakenings. Some go through fire to find their name. The Raven appears not to warn, but to escort. It doesn't flee from your shadows. It recognizes them. If a followed you, stared at you, or appeared during a season of deep inner work, take heart. It is a spiritual threshold guardian, reminding you that darkness is not your enemy. It's your passage, the snake, the awakened healer. Yes, the snake, one of the most feared and misunderstood creatures in existence. But in ancient spiritual systems, especially in Africa and India, the snake was a divine symbol of healing, transformation, and kundalini energy. Chosen ones, marked by sacred signs, often have life paths filled with multiple layers of awakening. Each skin they shed is another layer removed between them and their divine purpose. If you've seen snakes cross your path during moments of intense emotional purging or transition, it was never a warning of doom. It was a signal that your spirit was activating. The snake appears when a healer is being born. It comes to awaken the sleeping fire within you. The peacock, the messenger of hidden royalty. The peacock doesn't speak with noise, announces beauty through radiance. To the unawakened, it's just a beautiful bird, but to the chosen, it is a mirror, a symbol of divine royalty, resurrection, and self-realization. In many mystical teachings, the peacock's tail represents the all-seeing eyes of the divine. When a peacock appears, it's more than a moment, it's a summons. It shows up for those who've forgotten their own light. If you've seen a peacock near your home, in your path, or constantly appearing in dreams or images, it is not by chance. It's a message. Remember who you are. You've dimmed your crown for too long. Peacocks often come to those who've forgotten that their spiritual beauty was never arrogance, it was encoded power. The whale, the soul's deep echo. Let's go deeper, literally. Far beneath the ocean's surface swims the creature of memory, vibration, and soul sound. The whale. Why would an ocean creature connect to you, a land walker? Because not all spiritual communication is visual. Some. Vibrational. The whale emits the most powerful sound frequencies in the animal kingdom. It doesn't seek applause. It sings for remembrance. And chosen ones often hear whales in dreams, or feel drawn to them without ever seeing one in real life. Why? Because the whale is the reminder of your soul's original sound. It connects with those who were marked in the spiritual realm before entering this world. If you've dreamed of whales, or heard of one dying near you, or feel deep emotion when hearing their sound, you're being called to remember your original vibration, your soul's frequency before life covered it in noise. Let me ask you now, from soul to soul, which one of these 7 divine animals has shown up for you? Was it the raven in a time of darkness? The snake during your deepest transformation? The peacock when you forgot your glow? Don't keep it in silence. Write your story, even if it's just a sentence in the comments. Someone else may be waking up through your voice. Else may say, I thought I was alone until I saw this. Let's make this comment section a living scroll of remembrance. The deer, the falcon, the elephant, the raven, the snake, the peacock, the whale. Each of these animals doesn't just interact with your outer world. They echo your inner becoming. These are not just symbols. They are companions. Divine reminders walking between worlds to assure you, you are not crazy. You are called. And in the final segment, we will explore something deeper. How to interpret animal encounters spiritually. How to decode them not as random, but as guidance from a divine intelligence that knows your true identity. But before we continue, breathe. And if this message has reached into the hidden places of your spirit, then let's not lose the thread. Subscribe now. Light up the comments with your encounters. Let's continue walking together. Chosen one. Take a slow breath and feel this in your chest. All those times you questioned your sensi, depth, your intuition. They were never weaknesses, they were signals. Your perception of animals reacting strangely wasn't imagination. It was intuition, catching divine messages before your mind could decode them. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to carry frequency. And those encounters? They were never interruptions. They were instructions. Instructions from creation itself, confirming that you are seen, not by society, but by the universe. And here's something few will ever say out loud. The animals remember who you are long before people do. Now, let's go beyond story and into wisdom. You've met the divine animals. You've remembered their presence in your journey. But how do you read their meaning when they show up again? Here's the truth. Divine encounters are layered in 3 sacred elements. 1. Timing. When the animal shows up matters. Did the owl appear during grief? Did the falcon circle overhead as you made a prayer? The moment holds the message. 2. Emotion. What did you feel in the moment of the encounter? Were you at peace? Were you breaking? Were you hopeful or silently searching for answers? That feeling is a spiritual echo. It's where your soul and the animal's energy aligned. 3. Repetition. One appearance may awaken you, but repetition confirms assignment. When a specific animal keeps appearing, especially across dreams, visuals, and real life, you're not just being visited, you're being reminded. Most people were taught that animals just react. But you, chosen one, you know better. You know that nature remembers. And when it reacts to you, it's not instinct, it's alignment. The deer feels your stillness. The falcon reflects your vision. The elephant recognizes your memory. The raven accompanies your initiation. The snake awakens your healing. The peacock reveals your royalty. The whale reminds you of your soul's original song. Each one is not just an animal. Oracles each bringing fragments of your forgotten identity back to you. And here's a question no one else is asking. What if the reason the animals respond is because you were one of them before? This may sound strange, but lean in. In many spiritual traditions, it's believed that highly developed souls return across lifetimes through different forms: human, animal, light, and energy. The animals you connect with most may be mirrors of your past selves. That's why certain creatures look at you not with curiosity, but with knowing. It's not just that they recognize your frequency, it's that you once carried theirs. You were the owl, you were the horse, you were the lion, and they now return to greet you, to affirm you, to walk beside you once more, not as beasts, but as reminders of your spiritual ancestry. This is why, when they look at you, something familiar stirs in your spirit. That's not nostalgia, that's remembrance. Let me tell you something the world will never. Heaven already has. You are not just living, you are transmitting. You carry a code etched in the lines of your hands, etched in the silence of your aura, etched in the way animals respond to you without a word. The crescent moon and the letter M are not decorations. They are declarations. And the animals? They've known it from the start. Even when no one clapped for your growth, even when people walked away from your sensitivity, even when you felt invisible in rooms full of noise, creation didn't forget you, it saw you. And it's been showing you that through the creatures that pause, linger, and watch. So now I ask you, chosen one, what will you do with this knowing? If this message found you in a moment where you needed to remember, then don't let it fade. This channel isn't just content, it's a spiritual home for the marked. Subscribe, not because I said so, but because this space is one of the rare places where you can walk fully as you are. And share with us. See, which animal appeared for you? What season were you in? Write in the comments not just what you experienced, but what you learned from it. Let's create a sacred archive in this comment section, a digital sanctuary of encounters, revelations, and echoes of divine memory. If you've watched or read this far, write this below. Creation remembers me. Let it be a statement of truth. Let it be a vow to your higher self. Let it echo through the algorithm and into the unseen. Ignore the voices of doubt, the pessimism that may surface. This space is not for skepticism. It's for souls who feel. So if someone mocks the signs, we don't argue, we shine. Because when you carry the code, your light explains what words never could. The dog protected you when you couldn't speak. The butterfly danced at your breakthrough. The cat stayed through your silence. The lion stared with honor. And now, these 7 new beings have joined the circle. The deer of grace, the falcon of clarity, soul memory, the raven of transition, the snake of awakening, the peacock of divine beauty, the whale of sound beyond sound. Together, they tell the full story. You are seen, you are chosen, you are encoded. Let the world sleep, let others scroll, but you remember. Because when they ask why animals behave strangely around you, tell them the truth. They're not reacting, they're recognizing. And now that your eyes are open, something irreversible has occurred. You've seen the map that was always around you, the invisible pattern of animals, symbols, vibrations, all pointing in one direction, your divine recognition. But let's go even deeper. Let's talk about why this matters now more than ever. In this era of noise, artificial truths, and spiritual confusion, the truly marked ones are starting to feel something strange, an intensity, a calling, a shift in their internal compass. If that's you, know this. Your awakening is not just personal. Discussed in this sacred unveiling aren't appearing to everyone. They are showing up for those with assignments. You're not watching this because you're curious. You're watching because you're being activated. You are a part of the spiritual remnant, those called to protect light, to carry ancient wisdom into a new age. And in the ancient prophecies, both written and oral, it was said that the earth would begin to stir as the chosen awaken. Not with earthquakes, not with disasters, but with the responses of creation itself. The animals would return to the marked. The frequencies would recalibrate around them. The veil would become thin. This is not a theory. This is happening. Have you ever walked into a room and felt all eyes on you, but no one spoke? Have you ever entered a forest and felt the wind pause, as if holding its breath? That silence isn't absence. That silence is acknowledgement. The world may not know what to do with your energy, but the earth does. And Ani, bound by ego, opinion, or social conditioning, respond to you the way heaven does, with instinctual honor. The deer doesn't know your name, but it knows your energy is peaceful. The falcon doesn't read your mind, but it knows your purpose is high. The raven doesn't fear your shadow. It recognizes your potential. The peacock doesn't care for titles. It sees your glow. And the whale sings because your frequency is ancient and it remembers your light before you forgot it. Here's the raw truth. You can't go back to pretending. You're not just anything. Not just sensitive. Not just spiritual. Not just kind. You are encoded. And encoded people walk differently. They attract different eyes. They disturb stagnant rooms. They trigger the unconscious and awaken the ancient. You may try to hide your hands. You may try to quiet your intuition. But nature still sees you. Birds still pause. Animals still follow. Frequencies still shift. Because your mission does. You're tired. It simply waits for you to remember. Now I must speak about dreams, because many of the chosen don't see animals just in waking life. They meet them in sleep. Dreams are the soul's language. And when animals appear there, especially consistently, they are not random dream symbols. They are divine messengers from the other side of the veil. To dream of the snake is to dream of activation. To dream of the raven is to receive instruction. To dream of the deer is to be reminded of your gentleness under pressure. And the whale? That's the soul calling you home, back to your origin, back to the frequency you had before this world hardened you. So if you're watching this with tears in your eyes or chills in your skin, let it happen. That's not entertainment. That's your DNA responding. That's your spiritual inheritance being remembered. Here's a secret. Animals don't respond to your behavior. They respond to your boundaries, to your aura, to your unspoken power. Whether your spirit is heavy or pure, whether your vibration is calm or chaotic, you may have noticed a stray cat sat beside you when no one else would. A dog growled at someone near you even though they smiled. A bird circled overhead the day your spirit broke. These aren't accidents. They are energy validators. Because animals respond to spirit, not show, to truth, not performance. And maybe that's why you've always felt more connected in nature than in crowds. Because creation never asked you to perform, only to be. You, chosen one, were born to be seen, but not by millions, by the unseen watchers, the quiet frequencies, the holy creatures. You were never meant to beg for acknowledgement. You were meant to be recognized by resonance. And when the lion doesn't attack, when the raven lingers, when the whale appears in your dreams, it's not myth, it's alignment. Creation knew your name before you learned how to spell it. And these animals, these divine G, flatter you. They're coming to remind you, you made a promise. And now it's time to remember. So walk now, not as someone seeking validation, but as someone surrounded by witnesses. Not digital followers, not social metrics, but the birds, the beasts, the wind, the whale. You are part of a spiritual ecosystem, and every time one of these animals appears, heaven is whispering, you're on the path. Keep walking. Comment below if you feel this. Comment with your animal, your dream, your sign. Say it aloud. Creation remembers me, and let that be your truth moving forward.